So far this year we've talked about the problems Callaway had. We thought that they were going to struggle to replace the Paradym Triple Diamond, which for me was the best driver of 2023, and we certainly saw that it had plenty of wins on the PGA Tour and across the world. But today what we're talking about is the AI Smoke Paradym driver, which is the max version. For me, this is something that they really needed to improve on, because it was one of the biggest things that I thought that let them down or let the range down in 2023. And the reason for that was obviously the way that this club looked behind the golf ball. For me, as soon as you went out of the Triple Diamond with Callaway, you didn't get the looks. You didn't get a club that sat behind the golf ball that gave you confidence. The look certainly went away, and we started to then not see people have that in the golf bag. It wasn't a driver that I saw in a lot of people or everyday golfers' golf bags on the driving range in 2023, but I think this year they've really ticked a box. They've really improved on this head design. They've really got it looking a lot more sleeker, a lot more like the Triple Diamond head, and for me then on the tee, a lot of people are going to be happy to have that. Under that head cover, under that AI Smoke head cover, people aren't going to know exactly which driver you've gone for, because a lot of things obviously we know with drivers is down to ego, is how does it look. If you pull out the huge big driver head, they're going to go, all right, he's a higher handicapper, and that's something you might not like to see. You also might not like to see a big driver head behind there. You might start to think, that normally puts me off, because the bigger it is, the harder I try and hit it, and the more times than not I get an off-centered hit and I'm losing golf balls and losing shots off the tee. For me, I think this is going to be probably the most popular of the drivers from Callaway this year, and so far it's been ever so easy to hit, just like that one there. A centered strike straight down the middle of the fairway with a nice low spin flight on that, and that's for me exactly what I'm looking for. The Triple Diamond was a fantastic driver last year, and again I found it very forgiving. This year's model, again, nice and forgiving, but for the everyday golfer who, again, similar to myself, does hit it quite all over the face, you might want something with even more forgiveness, and that is what this head design is going to offer you. It's going to offer you that little bit more forgiveness. For me, I'll be very interested to see the numbers shortly in the studio. How does it perform? Am I losing much distance? Am I getting a lot more spin? Or if anything, am I getting this further than my last model of last year? And then how does it compare to this year's model? Because it's certainly not a cheap driver. Again, a little bit cheaper than last year. We are down at £500 now, but for £500 we obviously want a lot of forgiveness and more fairways hit. But for me there, that is 2 fairways hit, a nice little draw there, and for me the sound and feel is fantastic. And that's one of the big things for me when we are testing drivers. I want it to obviously not go straight into the max version, not into the more forgiving version, and start to sound very tinny, start to look different behind the ball and have a totally different sound. For me there, sounds very similar to the Triple Diamond. It's going to give me a nice feel off the face, a nice solid feel, and that for me gives me confidence to be able to trust this and obviously then commit to my drives. And that's a lot of things that people don't do. They don't have a driver where they feel over there. They're going to get the sound they like, they're going to get the feel they like, and as a result they're going to have confidence over that golf ball just to commit to it, hit it as hard as possible in balance and optimize their distance and start to benefit from spending £500. But let's do what everybody wants to see now. Let's start to give this one pretty much everything. Let's see if I need to, and I'm going to go after one. I might need that carry. I might be one down in a match, or I might be trying to carry it over something to get the best score of my life. Let's see if we can give it that more, a little bit more in the swing, and can we get that same distance? Can we get that same feel? And can we get that same ball flight with giving it a go? And the answer is yes. A bullet ball flight there, nice and penetrating, and I've got that little bit more distance out of it there, and that's why I feel like I've got the confidence over this driver. Again, with the max version, we know we have that sliding weight at the back, so we can start to make it fade or draw bias to suit your swing and suit your shot shape. For me, I've got that site nice and neutral. I don't like to always mess around with that, just because I'm trying to obviously work on my golf swing. And again, if you're working on your golf swing, guys, then think about where you want that weight putting. Don't try and get something different. Don't magically be a fader of the golf ball and hope, well, if I move that to draw bites, it's going to magically start to get me hitting draws. That might start you being a little bit too aggressive and obviously not getting the benefits out of this driver. Make sure you get it fitted to get the weight in the bat exactly where you need it. Make sure you get the exact loft that you need. For me so far, this is a fantastic driver. It'll be very interesting to see this up against something like the Cobra Dark Speed X, which I do have in my bag at the moment, because this, obviously with those 3 shots I've just hit there, have been very consistent. It's not always the driver that I would have gone for, but let's give it a go one more time. It's certainly flying up there, and this could be for the everyday golfer. This is the one that we're going to be testing out with Dave, see how it compares to his new driver, and obviously see if there's value in it at £499. Another fantastic drive. Now let's get inside and check this for numbers, because I think that has gone a long way. So guys, some impressive drives out there, certainly some drives that I'd be more than happy to hit. We know obviously max is a big thing. Obviously as soon as you see max on a driver, is that something that puts you off? For me, obviously in previous models, that's probably something that they would have thought about, but now it looks a lot more like the Triple Diamond one. It looks, again, a lot better behind the golf ball to me. To me, down behind the golf ball, it does look like it's got that little bit more offset from this angle. I didn't notice it outside, but in here under the lights, it seems so. Obviously, 4 great drives outside. What do the numbers say? Again, another reasonable flight there. Not a bad strike at all. Carry-wise, 260, running out to 270. So not bad at all there. Again, for me with this driver, it's probably aimed towards the golfer. We're trying to hit more fairway. So have I got much curvature on that? No. We know that is going to be down to your swing, but can we keep it a little bit more controlled? Again, leaking a little bit right, but not too bad. Carry-wise, 260. Going 280, so more than happy with that. I'm more than happy with that kind of spin rate. 2.7, not the best hit, but I'm either on the left hand side of the fairway or the right hand side of the fairway, which is exactly really what we saw out there at Woolley Park. Let's see if we can get one down the middle. Again, went after that one a little bit, got that lower ball flight, still leaking ever so slightly. 260, 275. So club head speed is down for me today, but getting reasonable ball speed, but mainly for me getting a good spin rate. Again, we've got this all set up neutral, so I've got that weight in the middle at the back. I'm not trying to get one shape or the other. I've got it set at neutral, 10.5, but I've still been able to get a nice penetrating ball flight for that. A lot of people often go for too little loft. Then they're trying to go, I've seen videos where I've got to hit up on it, so I'll start to angle back, and we start to get a lot of problems. Make sure in your fitting you're not biased towards a certain degree. I need a 9-degree driver. 10.5, we can get that to launch right if it fits your swing characteristics, if it gets you the right launch. For me, I'm getting a good spin there, I'm getting a good ball flight, not only on here in the simulator with the numbers, but out at Woolley Park. I certainly saw a great flight for this, and if anything, I feel like I can commit more to this than maybe the Triple Diamond, and I really enjoyed last year's 2023 Triple Diamond driver. Probably drove the ball the best I ever have, but now getting that a little bit more forgiveness. I don't always hit the centre of the face. This has really felt solid across the face, and there's a lot of good drivers out here this year that are sounding good, feeling great, but this one is right up there. I might be going away from the low spin models, favouring towards something mid-range, but I'm not going to let the word max put me off. Guys, comment below, are you put off when you start to see that it's a max driver? Does that push you towards something else? Are you always going for low spin? Because that might be what's hindering you getting the most distance possible. Guys, hopefully you're enjoying the content, and if you are, please do consider hitting that subscribe button below. But what we need to do now is get these drivers, the max drivers, into the hands of a mid-handicap golfer. Is he favouring towards this one? Are there other models that are out there? And which is his favourite driver of the year so far? It's all about testing them out, making sure that you are getting the one that best suits you to hit the longest drives possible. But as for now, let's get back out to Woolley Park. Now, if we look for consistency here, we can see that there is 3 here that I swung within myself that are very consistent front to back, and then we can see the one that I did go after has got maybe 10 yards further, and obviously interesting numbers inside, competing right up there with the triple diamond. So interesting enough, I got that little bit more forgiveness. I've actually found probably a little bit more consistency from that, but is that confidence behind the golf ball? Is that something that you are looking for? For me, massive strides from Callaway here with the more everyday golfer driver. Certainly looks a little bit better behind the golf ball, a little bit more eye appeal, gives you that confidence, but performance shows there straight away. It's something that I could use, it's something that you could use. So make sure when you go for a fitting, just because it says Max on it, don't be put off.